My name is Celine Peck-Adriano, she, her, and I am the manager for Glass to Glass in Fairfield. And we process glass throughout Colorado. And one of the main reasons why I would love to be a part of the board of Recycle Colorado is because I feel like this organization moves policy, moves change in a fast forward and sustainable direction. And I just really would love to be a part of that. And my focus would be on recycling and increasing the recycling rate and diversion away from beverage containers being diverted away from our landfills. Thank you.
Good morning, hello. My name is Emma Marino. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a sustainability and water conservation specialist with the town of Peoria, another long title. And I have been really impressed with the collaboration and education and outreach that Recycle Colorado provides across the state. And I think it's a great opportunity to get involved and to continue to build relationships as a little municipality. I mean, we're growing like crazy, but those relationships are so important.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. My name is Melissa Keir. I'm the Senior Director of Sustainability at Walking Mountains, which is in Avon. We're an environmental education nonprofit, and we focus on climate action, sustainable business, sustainable destination, waste or materials management, as well as energy and energy efficiency. My pronouns are she and her. And why? Well, I bring passion and purpose to everything that I've done over the 20 years of my professional career. And Recycle Colorado has really allowed me to kind of grow in that passion and purpose, I think, for 13 years now. And so I want to be able to continue to bring that to the board and also to bring it from a rural area, so Lake County, but then also working in a destination kind of resort area as well. We have a lot of challenges up there in mountains that are a little different perhaps, but similar to other areas in the state. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Erwin Belman. I work for Waste Management. Been with the company for about 23 years now. I have 12 years of experience with the transfer station, and now I have 10 years of recycling. I'm the district manager. I manage the Denver 48th Avenue MRF, as well as the Colorado Springs MRF. Why do I want to be a part of this board? I feel that I can share my knowledge of the recycling running at MRF. I think that this will be beneficial to the group. I like to give back to my community, just like every single one of you. And as you guys can tell, I am very nervous. So.
Yeah, it was terrific. It was terrific. Great, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Next question. Sorry, I don't want to next. So it's all right. It's so rude. So for everyone, and we're going to start with you since you're already nervous. And then once you're done, you can breathe for like 30 seconds. What is your top recycling policy, operational project, or event that you feel needs to be brought to Recycle Colorado?
My top priority will be to have representations or have someone with a strong voice and experience on the field. I feel that I am that person. I feel that my extensive knowledge on the business, on the MRF, would be beneficial.
Good enough. Pass it off to
David said, well, we all shared with David the things that have been happening here in the last few years within our state. And I think my top kind of priority or focus for Recycle Colorado is to really just continue to support what has passed over the last few years and really try to make sure that they're solid as we move forward, and that we can be a great example across the country for what we're doing with those legislation and laws that we have already in place. And I'd love to see kind of that ordinance grow a bit more in the system.
I think you were holding it kind of like you're saying yourself. I think extended producer responsibility will be huge, especially for the different communities across the state that don't have the same access to resources like recycling that Mountain Range does, for example. So fostering spaces for people to have those conversations and leverage those resources will be huge for Recycle Colorado to continue to support.
My main focus would be on increasing our recycling rates here in Colorado, specifically from my point of view, being a part of processing plant for glass. We need to increase our beverage container rates of recycling throughout Colorado. We are part of the circular economy here and the end market here for glass. And so it would be I would be honored if I would be able to be a part of the board, making decisions and moving us forward towards a more sustainable, resilient, and policy-driven methods for increasing our recycling rates here for beverage containers, all beverage containers, not just glass.
The thing that I think that Recycle Colorado needs to really focus on, we've got great policies that we just passed. We have excellent committees that are doing incredible work in C&D, compost, multiple things that are working hard. But where I think that we need to focus is on how are we gonna make sure that we're successful in those policies. And I would really like Recycle Colorado to put some effort into various toolkits that can help municipalities figure out, okay, if we pass this EPR, what kind of local policies do we need to support that and to make sure that that's successful? The C&D committee has created a C&D policy toolkit that is fantastic, and I would like to see that be brought into other material types. I don't know how to microphone, but I also would think that we really need to focus on partnerships with landfills and haulers, because again, those are all of these great things that we're trying to do are only going to be successful with haulers and landfills being a part of it. Everything that comes out of my landfill, now I don't have that revenue, right? So, if you want to get my buy-in, how can you help me figure out how to change? Our entire waste management system is completely changing. That is a big change that's happening fast, and folks are going to need help with that. And so I think Recycle Colorado is positioned to help.
So a lot of people know I don't like contamination in the stream. I think that's pretty obvious, I think it's out there. But contamination is a symptom of, I think, a bigger challenge, and that's really understanding the value of recycling and understanding why we do what we're doing. Zane brought up a great, right, Susan Dunn.
Yep.
Dan.
My name's Suzanne.
Dan. I do it to her all the time, I'm sorry. But she brought up a really good point when she said she brings kids into the MRF and they see it and they go, aha, because they're connecting all the dots. So Recycle Colorado has a great and enormous opportunity to continue to build on the why we do what we do and why Colorado's so driven to be a leader in this country when it comes to recycling. So I want to continue to build on the why, specifically also with organics recycling and connecting the dots from start to finish. And we can do that significantly by connecting it back to our youth. I'm really curious to know how many people in the room are under the age 25, if you don't mind raising your hand. So I just point that out because it's an opportunity for all of us to have under 25-year-olds in this room, in this discussion. I really wanted to bring my daughter here, who's 15, but I didn't want to pull her out of school either, so I didn't do that. But there's a huge opportunity there, and we continue to build on that. So I'm excited about that. I can say a lot more, but I'll stop there.
Thanks. I'd like to apply the 7 years of working with the Pollution Prevention Advisory Board Assistance Committee, which gave me the experience to better understand the state's goals, review grants, and learn more about
recycling across the state and waste diversion. My active participation in that board has developed valuable relationships up and down the Front Range with the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment and Greater Colorado itself. Basically, I understand the complexities of recycling and waste diversion in rural communities and the support, including creating circular connections that is needed to see those programs succeed. Most importantly, and this is what will aid with Recycle Colorado, is that I envision being a bridge for information for new policy implementation or assistance, whether that's like program development or infrastructure improvements or creating managed materials runs or just that to hear that assist with what the EPA, what the EPR is, what Circular Action Alliance does, what the Economy Development Center can offer, just to span that for all of Colorado and beyond, and one of the excellent options to help with that.
All right, so I would like to see some like sector-specific events or roundtables, some kind of gathering. I really took a lot of value of the open market for cities EPR kind of like Q&A session that Colorado did a few weeks ago. And it really made me kind of reflect and think like, okay, I sit in my like, Denver bubble sometimes, and I think like, oh, all of our problems are so unique, like we're so special. But then I think like, oh, I talked to somebody at a Recycle Colorado event who worked at a different municipality who had a similar situation when you reached out to them and asked what they did or if they had any advice. So I think that is a good opportunity to kind of connect folks who work in similar sectors who are maybe dealing with similar challenges or have dealt with similar challenges can lend some support. I think we all work for different sectors and we work better with some than others, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to kind of learn from each other.
Well, everything that everyone already said, I would repeat that because there are some very smart people who have been doing this for a long time. One thing I haven't heard anyone mention yet are tires. Tires don't get any love from anyone, so I'll say tires needs to be brought to attention. People know about tires, and they take care of us. Got me from Fort Collins a year, and we can take care of tires better. So bolstering and improving that infrastructure in the way that it used to be. Don't hold against me, I'm from Texas, I grew up there, and Texas has a pretty robust tire processing and in-market program. They can be better, everyone can be better. And here in Colorado, we should be better than Texas. So all saying we can do a lot better. Seeing the organics, everything that everyone said, yes, but tires.
Awesome, thanks everybody. So quick ask of the audience, think about questions. We're gonna have time for questions at the end. We're also gonna do, that was a serious question where we'll give everyone a chance. We're also gonna do some fun ones where we'll give a couple people a chance and then we'll do a couple more people in the next fun one. So here's our first fun one.
Here's the first one. I did not write this.
Super fun.
Super fun. Okay, so we're gonna go, this is for 3 of you. Emma, Melissa, and Erwin. Hobbies. What do we like to do outside work? Do you collect anything? What is your most prized possession? Do you obsess over, give a shrine to a historical figure or something in your house? Who wants to start? I'll let you guys off. Oh, there you go. I like it.
What do I like to do? I like to do projects at home. I like to do a lot of things on my own. Painting, a little bit of remodeling. About a year and a half, I started going to the gym. I lost about 66 pounds. I stuck with it, and now I can't live without it. I go 4 to 5 times a week. So it's something I truly enjoy. I collect, but I eat ago, I started collecting colognes. I have not hit me. I have a problem. And
What's your favorite cologne?
Creed Aventus.
Okay.
Did I miss
Pass it
it?
on. No, you did great. Did terrific. Go ahead, Melissa.
I'm a mom, so I have 2 kids, and most of their hobbies are my hobbies. For now, so I am a really good fan. I go to all of their sporting events, which is a lot, and cheer from the sideline, but I'm not an athlete, so cheering is really good. I have a loud voice. But hobby-wise, we like to backpack, travel. I do like to sing. Backpack travel and like read. I love to go to concerts. And
What's your favorite song?
what's my favorite song? Yeah. Soul Shine by Dawn Brothers.
Love it.
Yeah, that's my personality song actually. And I don't know, I've always collected like rocks and sticks and leaves and things. Yeah, it's like my background's forestry, so you know, I have a lot of those things in my house, and the problem is that my kids also like to do it, so there's a lot of that inside my house that will go back out once I die, I guess.
So I like to read. I love the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series, except for the most recent one that came out by a third author. That is not good. Do not recommend that one. I also teach and practice yoga. I teach at Core Power. So if you're in the Boulder area and you want to come hang, let me know. What else do I do? I hang out with my cats. They're pretty sweet. Go to concerts. See the Indie 102 right up front. Local music. Let's go. That's all I got.
I'm gonna pass the microphone off to Brandy, and she's gonna give you the next series of questions.
Hello. All right, yes, the next 3 questions are for Celine, Jennifer, and Clinton. What is your favorite recycling or upcycling solution that you have seen? So, Celine, Adriana, she, her.
I would have to say my eldest son, he was very impressive. He is very resourceful. He takes old bed frames, the wooden frames with the slats, and he makes shelving and decorative ladders out of it. And I went over to his house, I'm like, oh my goodness, what did you do? And he was so proud of that, and it's displayed in his living room with comforters over it. It's just beautiful. I was amazed at that creativity.
My favorite, and I don't, he's still in fitness, but my true favorite is composting. Compost is my, it really encompasses the whole circular economy. I love the responsibility of taking ownership of that waste, and it's kind of an accepted responsibility. You know, culture needs to change, and we need to have the same kind of feeling of personal responsibility for all of our waste. But I do like that compost is something that a lot of people take. They go out of their way to find that compost facility, or they have backyard compost operation, and then at the end of it, you get this beautiful material that you put back into your soil. So I just, it personally is fun.
You know, composting is it's incredible, the circularity of it, and how it connects all the way back to human health. But I'm not gonna take that one. So recently, so I'm gonna have 2, sorry, I got 2. Let's start with the first one. The first one is impact guerrilla art. What I love about impactful guerrilla art is everybody knows what guerrilla art is. So I was just out in San Diego for a conference, and there was Ben Wolf is a structural sculpture impact artist who collected multiple straws from contaminated rivers in Indonesia, and then built this into an impactful structure of explaining plastic pollution across the world, and then set it right in front of the UN building during a 7-day conference to really connect the dots to, hey guys, this is what's happening. So when there's artists out there that can take creativity to create loud messages, I think that's some of the most impactful upcycling that we can do because it's making people think. Second one, France banned fruit stickers and said all fruit stickers need to be compostable. What? So what did that do? So that trickled into the US economy, which is now not able to export produce to France that have fruit stickers on them if they're not compostable, which is a big challenge for our country. So when I was in San Diego, the USDA, there was a young PhD student who's actively working on compostable fruit stickers with resins that attach to any fruit, furry or slick, and try to make it happen. So that is an incredible opportunity for really big thinking solutions, because that would solve a lot of contamination challenges for our manufacturers.
I get the microphone. All right, thanks you guys so much. The next question is for everybody, so get ready. What do you see Recycle Colorado doing to improve recycling in Colorado? And what will you do to help with that?
It's a good question. I'll bring up something that we can talk about in the Northern Colorado Committee. It's something that Jennifer brought up. So kind of rings true on organics and something that Clint could talk at length about too, and a lot of people could be helping further the end markets. And kind of bring in there's been tons of research and study that have been done around that. The Organics Management Plan just came out, great, but taking that information to the cities and counties and businesses that want to implement it's not a sexy phrase, but a procurement policy toolkit. So that, furthering that to help that end market on the organic side, I think is key. Everyone cares about it, and tons of research in the state and other states and other countries. So that's what we're kind of working on, and we'll talk more about that.
Okay, well, I think that Recycle Colorado could be a connector.
I think we have to replace the batteries.
I can talk about it. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, that's so I think that Recycle Colorado could be a connector with all of the things that we yelled at David this morning going on in the state. There are so many opportunities, and I think Recycle Colorado is in a really great position to identify where those opportunities could or should land. Recycle Colorado has members across the state, across industry, across different sectors. So I think the board and staff can really help to identify this infrastructure especially should be here. There's an opportunity with this program to increase the capacity here. So I think that's a really great opportunity. I think that I am a good question asker and kind of facilitator of things, so I can help to make those connections and kind of pull that together.
I think Recycle Colorado is doing a great job right now. With the EPR coming in and all the complexities with that, I think all that, how that's getting laid out with the help of the CAA. I would echo also the end markets. We have a dual stream MRF up there, and we can only accept the 1s and 2s from our source separated drop sites. However, we accept the bottles, tubs, and jugs in the single stream as well. So,
what's the CAA?
It is the circular action roll out the EPR, which is a producer responsibility.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. What do you see Recycle Colorado doing to improve recycling in Colorado? And what can you do to help with that?
Or composting.
Yeah. Well, I got to stand behind Nick with providing end markets for finished compost use for beneficial use in communities it's a huge opportunity here in the state to really utilize this finished product for climate change. We're reducing methane emissions, which is extremely important, but once you take the finished product and put it in the ground and produce high quality food, put more carbon in the ground, save water resources in the state of Colorado, I think we should save some water in Colorado. It's just, that's an enormous opportunity, and I want to help get that to the finish line, because of just what we can do with compost. It's really awesome. It is low hanging fruit, considering what we do.
I also think that Recycle Colorado is doing a fantastic job. But I would echo Nina and say that the thing I think we can really help with is bringing people together that have already done some of this work and having those folks come into the room and tell us, you know, what worked for them, what hasn't worked, so that we can make sure that when we enroll some sort of recycling initiative, that we're doing it to the best of our abilities. I sat in a meeting, you know, the policy committee is talking about battery recycling, which is huge and only gonna become greater. And Recycle Colorado had brought people from even out of the country. There's someone there from Canada that to talk about what battery recycling looked like in their communities, battery EPR, and doing more of those kinds of programs. It's going to just make sure that we have the best recycling and that everybody knows and understands how to do it. It can get really overwhelming, right? Again, change is hard. So hearing what other people are doing, I think it's a recycle program. And how I can help with that is not much, but I will certainly sit in on those meetings and then go back to my community and share what I've learned and help my community and those communities around me, Montrose, Delta, figure out what programs that work for them.
So we have a sister company, Glass to Glass, in Portland, Oregon. And Portland, Oregon just recycled their 2 billion glass bottle last year. And I'm wanting to move us in a forward direction towards a beverage container program for all containers, because I know we can do it. I know Colorado can move in that direction and complement already the EPR policy that is already taking off. And it is doable. States are already doing it throughout the country. So I would like to participate in the Recycle Colorado Board of Director membership to be able to move us in that direction, collaborate. I'm also already reaching out to counties and municipalities and collectors and haulers to be able to assist with better means and better methods for glass collection and process and getting them to our facility. I know we could do better. I know that we already have an infrastructure for single stream. I think that works as well, but I think we could add additional methods to increase our recycling rates here in Colorado.
I would echo that Recycle Colorado is already doing fantastic work, and I think that they can continue to improve recycling by facilitating collaboration, conversation across communities, because we can continue to learn from each other. I've been working on a community-wide hauling contract for Erie, and I've learned so much from so many of the members in this room just through casual conversations, scheduled team meetings, all that good stuff. And I'm an effective listener, communicator, so I can help facilitate those meetings, ask questions, and just create a space where people feel like they can share their ideas and opinions.
So when I first joined Recycle Colorado, I don't recall there being committees or councils for people to join and to help kind of move forward the organization. But when that happened a few years ago, I think it's just been a game changer. One example is the C&D tool. You know, that coming out of the work that Recycle Colorado's done, the C&D Council, that is something that we're utilizing in our community. So I think Jennifer said it a little bit ago, you know, these resources that can be created through these committees and councils that then can support all communities in moving forward and increasing recycling. You know, these are hard to recycle items, large numbers on our reports that we need to figure out how to have an end market or access to recycling them in the places that I live in and work. And so that's kind of what I would like to see, kind of where I see that Recycle Colorado is doing really well. I'd like to help with those conversations. I am a relationship builder, and so, stakeholders, different communities, bringing everyone to the table. That's how I would help.
I have very long answers, so please excuse me. If I read some of it, I don't want to forget, some of the details that I wrote down last night. I believe that Recycle Colorado will take the lead on implementing the extended producer responsibility law. I also feel that, Recycle Colorado can assist the Denver metro area in implementing recycling innovations and promote the development of programs for reusing products right here in Colorado. And I'm summarizing it. How will I help? I know that I said this before, but I feel that my experience in managing recycling facilities in the foundation Colorado Springs will definitely be of use here. I feel that I can collaborate because I work with vendors, I work with investors. My knowledge on the field will definitely be of help here with the team. I'll just stop there because it's still.
I just wanted to say, my God, what a cool opportunity to have this many passionate people running for the board of directors for Recycle Colorado. Can I just give We're sitting amongst legends, people. All right, so the next question is for 3 people. Bill, Nina, and Nick. And this one's spicy. Are you ready? What item have you pulled out of the garbage or recycling bin to be properly disposed of and do not hold back?
That's an interesting one. Having started out on the recycling plant floor as a maintenance 2 worker of the scrap, we routinely pull materials out of our recycling. But the short answer is, to this day, I am not scared to walk down Frisco Main Street and pull an aluminum can out of the trash and put it into the recycling bin. So another thing that drives me crazy is that when my family and friends throw aluminum cans into the trash.
Well, I used to run the Zero Waste Events program at Walking Mountains, so what haven't we pulled out? But I also did my master's thesis with Vail Resorts. We did a waste comp study for their on-mountain dining, and we did pull, my group members and I pulled enough skis out to make a full set of shop skis. And there was a particularly traumatic bag of just all chicken tenders. So, that was kind of
I would say, I lived in Fort Collins in metal. This is my house 2 weeks ago, and my wife is much more vigilant about everything. Recycling, trash day. It was trash day. Republic was coming. Trash day today. I didn't take trash last night, but they're coming. She got a new chair. She was Department of Revenue. She had to go pick up her new chair down in Denver, even though we work for Collins. But the old chair had a huge metal base. She wanted me to shove it in the trash can. She's like, no. And there was a bunch of wood too. And so I take the wood to Ewing's. She wanted me to shove that in the trash can because trash day was coming. It was Thursday. I was like, no, the metal. I take that to the Timberline facility, scrap metal. So that was just recent.
Awesome. So we're going to do another fun question here, and we're going to start with Emma, and we're going to go this way. What recycling issue do you get after your friends or family about? Recycling issue.
I don't know if it's an issue, it's more something that I find myself dealing with regularly, and I have to tell my husband, stop putting the toilet paper roll in the trash can. It can go in the recycle bin, please stop at your driver's desk. I feel like it's aluminum cans. Like, did you know that an aluminum can can be back on the shelf for 30 days? And my friends look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, no, dude, please recycle it, please.
I feel like most of my friends and family, like, they prepare before I come. They're like, oh my gosh, Melissa's coming, I gotta make sure everything's like in order. But, you know, and then I'll get calls from like, you know, my family's back east, and so they're like, Melissa, I'm having trouble with this recycling thing, what should I do? Who should I call? And I'm like on the Google, and I'm searching like wherever they're from, trying to find where they can take their stuff to, right? So again, like, I would say aluminum cans, but they prepare, like I said, before I show up at their house. So I think maybe at the beginning, I was harping, and more it was like, then all of a sudden they were changing, and they were texting me going, I took my recycling today. I'm like, yay! Or I have people going to concerts and seeing that there's no recycling bins at, the Fish show a couple weeks ago. My sister is like walking through the gates, and she's like, where can I recycle this? And they're like, we don't have it. And she's like, my sister is gonna be here tomorrow. She's not gonna be happy. So I'm telling them to prepare for me
I would say recycling, period. Probably about 10 years ago when I got into recycling, I'm a little embarrassed to say that the majority of my family didn't recycle. 10 years into it, they all recycle. It took me a while, and every time I would go to their house and go into the 50-minute explanation as to why they should recycle, and I think that I bore them to death, and they just
Awesome. All right, we're gonna do another question for everybody, and we're gonna start with you, Celine, and then we'll go this way. Have you been, or do you currently sit on any other boards, commissions, councils, or committees, including those within Recycle Colorado? Which and what are your roles on those boards, and also previously too?
Simple answer, no. Well, actually, I was on the Western Slope Committee as a reporter, and I really try not to miss a policy committee meeting. I think they're just really important. It's encouraging to be a witness to how they're moving policy change and how they're collaborating together. It's inspirational. So I really enjoy participating in those meetings.
I was on the Pollution Prevention Advisory Board Assistance Committee, and got to read grants and review grants, and then we make recommendations to the PPAB on who they should give that grant funding to. So I think being a part of that committee made it so that I can give advice and assistance when folks are trying to write a grant. It's very hard. I don't know if anybody in here has written a grant before. I recently took on the endeavor of trying to write a grant for our facility, and it was a huge amount of work. And so having somebody that you could go to and that has reviewed lots of grants before, and to help you and to review that grant for you is tremendous help, and will probably ensure that your grant at least makes it past the legal test, right? So, but that's, and I'm also a previous board member, right? So I've been on Recycle Colorado board for the last 3 years, and so much fun. I wanted to do it again. And that's, let's see what else. Oh, Western Slope Council. I was the president for the Western Slope Council for a couple of years, even though I didn't have the title. The president could never seem to make it, so I was president by default, and that was really great. Most of the time that was spent doing outreach, right, and informing, again, my community of what is going on, because you would be amazed at how many folks don't even realize that EPR was coming down the line, Or the back dam was a great example. I mean, that was coming out in a month and nobody knew about it. So just being able to be a mouthpiece and getting people involved and letting them know what's
Oh goodness, okay, so, I was on the board for the Sustainable Living Association when I was working at Whole Foods. I was on that board for 3 years, and then after I left Whole Foods and became A1 Organics, I co-chair the Market Development Committee for the United States Composting Council. And out of 24 committees last year, we got Best Committee of the Year, which I'm pretty proud of. I also sit on the Colorado EPR Advisory Committee for the compost manufacturing seat currently. I also am a part of the Colorado Composting Council. I'm also part of Recycle Colorado and their policy committee and COC's policy committee. I was on the advisory committee for the Waste No More initiative in Denver, providing feedback for the composting industry. David, did I forget any? Yeah, so I am active. I like to be active. I like to help support this side of the industry. So I'm excited to be on this board because I'm going to step away from the Market Development Committee at the USCC, so I can stay more local in Colorado. So see how things go.
I was an active member of the Pollution Prevention Advisory Assistant Committee for 7 years with some of the folks up here, which was awesome. I also have a manager of landfill operations certification with the Solid Waste Association of North America from 2018 till present, and part of Summit County Zero Waste Task Force from 2021 till present. We're also part of the county's C&D Policy Development Program from 23 to present, and we also have a Strong Future Grants Program going in Summit County, which is from 22 to present.
Okay, so I was on the Front Range Waste Diversion board for about a year before it dissolved or reformed, and so I was just reappointed to the C3 board. So I'm excited about that one. And then prior to that, I was on Denver had a Sustainability Advisory Council, so I was on that before I started working for the city. I went to the recorder, I think, for the C&D Council for Recycle Colorado when I was up at Rocky Mountains. I've been on various councils for Recycle Colorado at various times, depending on what the topic is. While I was up at Rocky Mountains, I was the co-chair of the Materials Management Task Force of the Eagle County Climate Action Collaborative.
I don't have a long list like you and Quinn and everybody else, but here at Recycle Colorado, I'm chair of the Colorado Committee, and then last year the Recorder Policy Group. I'm also working to form a new nonprofit, Keep Colorado Beautiful affiliate, and Keep America Beautiful. That is all.
My answer is way longer than any of the previous candidates. No. I never have. I'm excited, even though I may not show it, I am excited. I'm a little nervous because of this whole process, but I am very excited given the opportunity to start.
Okay, so I'm a current board member of Recycle Colorado. I'm one of the co-vice presidents. And so I'm finishing up my first term. I served on the Pollution Prevention Advisory Board Assistance Committee from 2016 to 2020, and then moved on to the Pollution Prevention Advisory Board from 2020 until, yes, it was changed and kind of dissolved into C3 in July 1st. I no longer was on the board. I was the chair of both of those committees for the majority of the time that I was on them as well. I'm also the board chair emeritus for Cloud City Conservation Center in Leadville, and just the Western Slope Council, which is now the Greater Colorado Council. I participate in that as well. And then, I don't know, I say yes too much, so a variety of committees, and again, that parent thing always comes up, so I'm kind of like in a lot of like things locally within my community as well.
I have participated as a member in some of the Recycle Colorado committees and councils, but I have not been a leadership person. And then within Erie, I participate in some committees there as a sustainability representative, but I've been looking for a way to get more broadly involved with the Colorado community, and I see this as a great first opportunity to do so, as you continue to learn and grow with the organization.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for your work and service to all of those amazing groups. That was really great. So fun. This one actually is really fun. And we're gonna ask everybody this one because it's so fun. And Clint, we're gonna start with you.
Yes.
Let's make it quick. What's your favorite type of compost? No, just kidding. What's your favorite place in Colorado?
Oh, favorite place in Colorado. Oh, dang it.
We'll go this way.
Can it just be Colorado? Oh.
Yeah.
Favorite place in Colorado? Dang, that's a hard one. Favorite place, well, no, I'm gonna say, yeah, it is Colorado. I spent a lot of time, adventure, some of this is a different question, but I spent a lot of time riding adventure motorcycles across states in the dirt, camping. And Colorado is just absolutely gorgeous. So if you've ever, everybody in the room, please go south to north across our state. And you'll be amazed by, you'll feel like you're in about 10 different countries, all in one state. It's just absolutely incredible. So if you haven't ever done that, you don't have to go to Mexico, you don't have to go to Europe. Just circle our state. It's pretty incredible.
Well, you all know it's truly accurate when folks say that you can take a lifetime checking out Colorado. And I've seen a lot of cool places. One of them that I like right now is the Lost Creek Wilderness area over by County Road 77. But the best place is on my front porch watching the clouds soar by.
All right, my favorite place is Steamboat, hands down. I went to summer camp there for like 7 years, so that was very, very formative. Easy.
My favorite place is Cub Lake in Rocky Mountain National Park on the Estes side, park side. Beautiful place.
My favorite place, mind you, this is coming from someone that is not an outdoor person and doesn't go to a lot of concerts, Red Rocks. I worked there during high school many decades ago, in the summer for Red Rocks, and I don't even remember who was performing. There were so many concerts, and I just fell in love with the place. So I think I've been there a few times after that. So I wish I would have been able to hear Whitney Houston sing that.
I would have loved to be a Red Rocks working as a teenager. So I don't know, Bill, you know, Leadville, Mount Massive, Mount Albert, out my back door is pretty sweet. So I do really like that area, and I love Lost Creek, one of my favorite places to go backpacking. But we were just backpacking by the Missouri Lakes and Fancy Lake about a month ago with my family, and I just love getting out there and not being able to see or hear anything. So I think my favorite place currently is kind of just up by Fancy Lake, very quiet.
I still have a lot of Colorado to explore briefly, but I'm going up to Aspen later, so that'll be fun. But I think the Grand Lake area is so pretty in the summer and the fall. I just really love going up there.
Well, first and foremost, my home is my sanctuary, and I love being home. But to tie with that, I have had several opportunities to drive on the 70 from Grand Junction to Glenwood Springs. I was just telling Jennifer this. The canyon on the 70 is spectacular, and it doesn't matter what time of day it is. The sun could be rising, the sun could be setting, the cliffs are different, and the river meanders along the 70. and you can't stop to look at it. And it tortures me every time I go to that canyon because I can't find a spot to just stop and sit for a moment. So that would be my favorite spot. It's still a mystery.
My favorite spot in Colorado, and there are so many, but I would say the Mary Jane Winter Park Ski Resort, the Mary Jane Mountain, being on a chairlift, going up, the sun is in your face, and you're just getting ready to go down. Like that side of the mountain, there are so many fun runs, and so that is probably my favorite.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to answer this one?
Now the compost. Okay, now the compost. What is your? Okay, so another fun question that everybody gets to answer is, glad we started talking about Red Rocks people, because that's our question. If you could see anybody at Red Rocks, who would it be? Let's start with you.
Okay. Well, I have seen, I saw Paul Simon at Red Rocks a few years ago, and I would do that again.
That's a good one. And we'll go that way this time.
I've seen a lot of concerts at Red Rocks myself. I'm not gonna name drop a bunch of bands, but I was in Manchester, Vermont last month and for a bluegrass festival. And one of the bands that I'd known about before then, but got to see live, I think would be really awesome to see is a husband and wife duo, and they're called Watch House. And I would like to see them at Red Rocks.
Freddie Mercury.
Good one.
So mine is kind of cheating because it's 3 bands, but this group, Sasanta, is touring this coming year in 2025, and it's Primus, Perfect Circle, and Lucifer, and I would love if they came to Red Rocks.
I think I'm gonna be a little off the cuff here. My husband and I have 4 adult, very musical recording artists, and I would love to see them perform at Red Rocks. Awesome. And I would love if you could watch them.
My silly yet honest answer would be One Direction. That is, yeah.
I did see them. Not at Red Rocks.
I've seen them, just not.
If I could have seen anyone at Red Rocks, it would have been James Joplin.
I already said Whitney Houston, so I'm not gonna back away from that. And I probably Adele. You see the trend here is that they just sing so effortless, and so yeah, that's fine.
All right, Nick, make it good.
It's not that good, it's kind of cheesy, but John Denver.
This is Country Roads. In case anybody else cares. Okay, question number 11, we're gonna start with Bill. How do you balance the competing interests of your organization and Recycle Colorado's mission?
Not a problem. I've got the support from our Board of County Commissioners, our organization. We've got 4 towns up there that are actively involved in policymaking. You know, plastic bags truly do blow. And so that was some things that we've done. And as far as balancing it, we've got all that support with our nonprofits and the ability to bring all this together 110%.
Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great.
I'll go. Sorry,
It's okay, Nina. You're wonderful.
So similarly, there's support amongst Denver to be involved. I don't know if there are really any competing interests. There may be different strategies or priorities, but interest-wise, there's no risk of competent or competing interests. Keep it simple.
Same here, no competing interests. You know, I help bring new infrastructure to Colorado, so, I mean, that's what ultimately a lot of people want.
Good answer.
shouldn't be that difficult, but I do have to keep in mind that I am representing, my company, Waste Management. But I also have to think about my expertise on the field, and I think that's how I will balance it.
Non-advocacy, nonprofit, so I know what conflict of interest means from being on a variety of boards. So I try to keep myself very level and even when it comes to any decisions, and really just taking in everyone's feedback that I possibly can. Again, relationship building and having that collaboration. So I'm not concerned at all about any concerns with pushing forward Recycle Colorado's mission as well as the mission of my organization.
Yep, no major concerns. As I mentioned before, Erie learns a lot from the other communities, so it's a great resource to be a part of and to help push things forward.
Well, I think as a representative of Plasticlass in the glass recycling industry and relationship with Recycle Colorado, we kind of have a symbiotic relationship where Recycle Colorado policies really help my business model. And also, because I have knowledge in the glass recycling industry and the only glass processor in the region, I think I would be able to be an asset for Recycle Colorado as far as recycling policy.
So I do have a conflict of interest. As I already mentioned, I run a landfill, and every time you take something away from the landfill, that's revenue that you're taking away from me. But I think that I balance that conflict of interest by, one, talking with the board, and talking with Recycle Colorado to kind of be the voice for those other landfills and say, hey, let's be thinking about how this could impact organics management. We run a compost facility, right? And so making sure that when we're talking about policy to pull something out, do we have an end market? Do we have a place for it to be processed? How is that going to affect the landfills and the communities that are not on the Front Range that don't have the ability to process this material? So I think that my conflict of interest is actually a benefit to Recycle Colorado in that we come up with better policies and better plans moving forward that are going to work for everybody. One thing that I don't see a lot of, I'm in Recycle Colorado, and then I'm also part of the Solid Waste Association for North America, right, SWANA. And I go to these SWANA conferences, which I am going to one next week, and you go, are there any recyclers here? There's landfills and there's haulers and there's non-recyclers. And then I come to these meetings and you go, are there any landfills here? We got a bunch of recyclers, but where are the haulers and where are the, and it's getting better. I will say that it's getting better, but I think, 25% of this room should be landfills, right? Or the people that are processing that material or losing that material, and haulers too. Haulers are such a big part of all of this being successful. So again, I think that just trying to help and be a voice so that we're coming out with policies that are actually going to work is how I would manage that.
So I'm going to answer this in three parts. So in the first part, within the mission statement of Recycle Colorado, I think being with A1 Organics and being a large compost manufacturer, the circularity, the continued circularity in the state, organics recycling is a great closing the compost loop, great circular process, and it's increasing diversion, which is what Recycle Colorado's mission is. The second part of this is I sit on the Colorado EPR Advisory Committee, and I have to, on that committee, speak for the industry, speak for the state, represent small and large compost manufacturers, and I think I do a pretty great job trying to navigate that, and not just speaking for my industry, or for my private industry. And that was my third part, is like, we are a private company and private public relations. I think I can help speak to that partnership within Recycle Colorado. And if not from me, I have some pretty amazing veteran resources that are my leaders that I work with that I can find information and bring that to the board as well. So, yeah, thanks.
You answered.
Oh, is that the last one?
You're the last one. Awesome. All right, that's the end of our questions that we wrote down. So now it's your turn. Audience, what questions do you have? And we'll pass the mic around as you have them. put a hand up, and that's where we'll start.
All right, we're gonna start with Rob because he's closer, and then we'll come to you.
I was just gonna ask if you could frame quickly, how many people are on the board, how many seats are open, and who's leaving the board, so what kinds of seats are vacant?
So, each year we have 5 seats that come up. So there's 5 seats available. As you can see, we have 2 incumbents that are running again, and so there's 3 folks that are either term limited or decided not to run again.
Can you tell us who's going on? Who are those 2?
So, Neil Noble from Republic, appreciate you, Neil, you've done a great job. John Markell from the city of Lakewood.
Alicia.
Alicia Arson, oh my God, how can we rip on Alicia? Alicia's term limited, has been on the board for a really long time, has really been a fantastic bridge for us from, 10 years ago, what decisions that were made. So, so we're losing some serious knowledge, some serious talent. So we're excited that we have such a great group. Thank you.
And how long are you?
3 years, terms of 3 years.
Hi, Rob Lentz with 3 Killer Action Alliance, and I wanted to get your thoughts on how do you think Recycle Colorado can grow financially over the next 3 to 6 years? So this runs on money. The state of Colorado will have significant investments in resource recovery over the next 10 years. How do you think this organization can grow financially? Where do we look for that money? What are your thoughts? And the answer can't be CAA will pay for it.
Does anybody, maybe we start in the middle, because we didn't know. Celine, can we start with you, is that okay?
I mean, I'll start every single person that I meet. I mentioned Recycle Colorado, and I think 2 of the individuals that I know in the last 6 months have signed on as members for Recycle Colorado, and I'm building it in that way from a personal experience.
So this is an area that I do think Recycle Colorado could do better. We went to a summit and I didn't hear anybody really talking about, hey, we're a nonprofit and this is our fundraising event and a great opportunity for you to help support us and donate. So I think that we need to be more, transparent is the word, more vocal and shameless and hey, we need donations. So I think we could definitely improve in that area. I also think, I had another one in my head, but it's kind of falling away. Charging for services, I talked about the excellent session that I went to with folks from all over the country talking about lithium batteries and recycling. And, it was free to members, and it's great that it's free to members because you get participation that way. But, could we have charged $25? It took work to pull those people together. That's a lot of effort and time on our very small staff. And so, charging a small amount of money, especially if we can offer things like continuing education credits, folks that are involved with the Solid Waste Association or NAMA, which is the same Association for Hazardous Waste. If we are able to offer continuing education credits, then you can charge for those, that lithium battery thing. $25 is not going to kill you all. And then the other thing that I would say is, I don't know if anybody in here has heard of legacy fundraising, where folks who are very passionate about recycling and sustainability would put into their will that they want a portion of money to go to Recycle Colorado. Organizations, nonprofits all over the country, all types of nonprofits do this type of fundraising, and it's not like the funnest thing to talk about, right? But the reason why it's called legacy donating is because you want to leave something to the world, right? You want to leave this world in a better place, and a lot of people really take that to heart and are willing to say, that recycling is important to me, sustainability is important to me, and I want to give some money. So I think that's an area that we could explore.
That's a great one. Yeah. So I was thinking, let's see how do I say this? So two things. One, you can't get money if you don't ask. So, and asking is always the hardest part. But, so asking is, you gotta ask and you gotta keep it simple. Because it's like sales, when you're selling, there's so many times people will be selling something and then they talk you out of the sale instead of just stop talking and hand me the money. I know that sounds really terrible, but it's true, just stop talking. But then, timing is everything as well. I think recycle, no offense, there isn't anybody in this room, but timing is everything. And so, excuse me, I think getting ahead of the game is better. And so a lot of these larger corporations have budgets, they have money to donate, but you gotta get in front of them much sooner than 3 months out, 6 months out. You need to be having a conversation a year out. And there's a lot of opportunity to get in front of larger corporations to ask for funding for events, for summits, for all sorts of things. And getting to them sooner. And that's something we can work on. Also,
Yeah, I think also it's like donations and fundraisers and getting creative with fundraisers. I like the legacy idea we have in our community, grant opportunities. I know those sunset, but those are opportunities to bring about the need for support for Recycle Colorado, for fundraising and donations, and just try to get that word out there and make it happen.
Okay, a few thoughts, I'm gonna try to connect the dots on them. So I think, similar to what Jennifer said earlier, there are, so many people who aren't in the room. We're a hauler, my division within Denver is a hauler, so there are so many folks within the hauling side of our business that are involved, but Denver doesn't necessarily have the money to send everybody there. So I think it would be great if there would be a way to do scholarships that are not at the expense of generating memberships. So if we can get donated scholarships, so that money still comes in to Recycle Colorado, but it still grows the base.
Well, I'll reiterate Nina and Jennifer, haulers and haulers across Colorado, yes, are underrepresented. You just want them, they're there, they should be here, they should be involved. They're all industrial waste, MSW recycling, organics, hazardous waste players should be involved in all these conversations we're talking about. Of course, there's the big companies, there's brokers. Those companies need to come to the table and be involved because they're the ones managing a lot of the, hazardous waste streams right now. But yeah, the independent haulers will just keep their head down, run their operations, that aren't here should be because this all matters to them.
I agree with all the other candidates. I feel that exposure can only benefit the Recycle Colorado. I think that if given the opportunity to serve, I would recommend that we lean a lot more on our business partners. We just recently had a groundbreaking celebration for one of our new facilities, and Recycle Colorado was there. Liz. I think that we could take an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit more about Recycle Colorado at such events and promote that we are a nonprofit, right? I'm not really saying I just feel that events such like that can only benefit the group.
I love that idea, and I was thinking, it's a multi-approach, right? I kind of feel like I'm a politician in this question, that's weird. Anyway, multi-tiered approach, and to your point, I think one of the biggest parts when it comes to membership, because sometimes membership dollars, I know, we're a nonprofit, so we come in at a much lower level than some of the larger companies, and thank you for those larger companies, but being showing that you are a member and encouraging folks that you know, whether they're new, it's their first time kind of coming to any of these events, to join and become a member and to encourage, all of your circle to really see what Recycle Colorado can do for, for this sector and for the state. So we're having you all let Liz talk next time, and share or highlight that, and I think that's an amazing idea. So we are advocates for Recycle Colorado, bringing in some money that way. But then also, I really do think that since Liz came on as our executive director, we have really started to kind of broaden what we can do through fee-for-service. And so fee-for-service, I think, is another way that we can start to bring in a good amount of revenue because of all of the kind of legislation that's been passed the last couple of years. That also includes increasing the capacity of staff, which I actually think is great. I'm thinking kind of into the future where we do have more staff at Recycle Colorado, and we do have more money flowing through these variety of avenues.
I agree. I do see membership growing, especially as more Coloradans get access to recycling, so that will bring in some money. And then charging for services will help as well, because there is so much great work that's done for free or at no cost. So making a little money out of that would help as well.
Awesome, very good, thank you. Yeah, more questions from the audience?
Any other questions from the audience? All right, come into the back. Yeah, we're getting into it.
Hi, Kathleen Hines, CPD. I am curious what you guys have for ideas or thoughts on how Recycle Colorado can focus on the highest part of the value chain, the circular value chain, so preventing waste at all, as well as reuse.
Let's maybe start with Nick, then we can go this way.
Is there anybody who hasn't started with a question yet?
Yeah.
I've only started with fun ones.
With slide ones?
So if you want me to start with
Nick? Oh, he's ready for somebody else. All right.
So in terms of reducing waste and implementing reusables?
Yeah, just like moving Colorado to the highest part of the circular value chain.
Okay. I think a lot of that will come with engagement and supporting opportunities. I know on the Front Range, there's organizations that will help support events to make them zero waste or provide reusables, but they can be hard to get a hold of sometimes, or the cost can be a barrier for groups. So I think if we make that more accessible to folks, and make people aware of it, like if you go to a concert at the Mission Ballroom, you get a bar cup, like you get a reusable cup, which is sweet. But that's a lot of people's first exposure to that element, so making it accessible, finding ways to engage people where they're at, so that way they can start to transition to that point, because it's not realistic to assume that everybody can just change overnight. If we had all the resources in the world, maybe, but just have to meet people where they're at.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I really think that we're kind of starting to go down that way, and I think you were asking how Recycle Colorado can do that, right? And I think that one of the things that we did to already start to work towards that is to help push for the EPR to happen, and to the plastic bag bans, all of those things that we've already tried to do by pushing forward with policy, so that we can then take what has been passed and start to find ways to implement it that will reach that goal that you're asking about. So I know that's short, but I think we're starting to do that.
Probably go with customer education. Be surprised by how many people don't know what's recyclable, what it is. A lot of people still bag their material. That's the biggest contamination on our business here. They think that it's an easy way to separate all the recyclables, and it's not. So yeah, customer education.
I would ask if anyone has a DeLorean, one that travels in time, also runs on trash and organics, which is a plus. Is anyone going back 10, 20, 30 years? Would be nice to buy land You know, or I could say people stop moving to Colorado and driving up prices so we can acquire more land and build more infrastructure that doesn't cost millions and millions of dollars. So, I mean, yeah, the C3E is great, EPR is great. At the end of the day, you still have to go find land, site, do all the stuff to do it, and that costs a lot of money. Then build set facilities, C&D, organics, recycling facilities, $30+ million. It's a heavy lift. So going back in time, I'd say, and that's not the right answer. It's hard to move forward, but taking some real commitment and taking action now before the land is gone and no one wants to live next to, facilities just because it doesn't look good to them. Honey Badger.
All right, well, I think first of all, I think that Recycle Colorado really does walk the walk quite a bit in this space. We have mugs back there. Every event I've been to has reusable instead of disposable. So I think that's huge. It sets a really good tone, a really important tone for that space. And I would also say I think Recycle Colorado is in a really great position. I think does this, keep doing this, etc. Of championing what is happening in this space. Like Denver has a reusable grant program for restaurants to convert to reusables. It doesn't get all of the attention and all of the love. So I think we could, as a community, really pop those programs up quite a bit.
I'm going to do the contamination. I'm going to do two, but one of them is the contamination. I think that I look around this building, in this room in here, and it's awesome to have that education and get that message out clear at the beginning. We have our nonprofits that do Stump the Recyclers, and they go to our drop-off sites and visit and try to educate people. We live in a transient community when what is acceptable in one part of the country or the world is not in another, and we have folks that come in and leave. The second part was has to do with that infrastructure. So if you're trying to do these construction and deconstruction programs, you need the infrastructure to be able to collect the material, but then do something with it. And we're kind of in that realm right now. We have a large pile of pallets at our facility right now. We've been trying to borrow Kathy from Pitkin County, her roto chopper. It's kind of hard to truck that through the Glenwood Canyon, but we are using some grant monies to try to invest in pieces of equipment like that so that not only can we divert those materials from the landfill, but also use it for our composting program and ship our own slash.
So you specifically go to the top and you want to reduce our streams first.
Not necessarily first, I'm just curious how, we're building all these end markets and, ultimately the goal is to keep it closed loop, but there's a lot of consumer change and there's so much change that needs to happen to get us to stay in the value change around reuse or reuse. What are your ideas on how Recycle Colorado can continue to move the value chain?
Well, it sounds cheesy, but it's true, the 3 R's, or you can go to the 7 R's. Depending on which one you want to look at, but the 3 R's is at the top of it's reduce, 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 push back all the way up the stream. A1, speaking from A1's perspective, we did that. It was really hard to shut down compostables and non-traditional organics, but we had to do it because of contamination challenges, which has spurred a lot of change, a lot of thought of how to look at the stream different. And I think Recycle Colorado has the opportunity to continue to look at how do we reduce our impacts at the top, at the beginning, and save these resources. Like one of my biggest things is I hate the word waste, because none of this is waste. It's all natural resources that have a benefit in some shape, way, or form. So just stop calling it waste, because it's not what it is. It's not. And so Recycle Colorado has the opportunity, and they're already doing it. Like with the EPR, eco-modulation, there's a lot of things that are happening that are looking at what is the most beneficial item in the stream that's going to provide the best benefit to the overall system. Are compostables that option? We don't know yet, but there could be a part where they are very specifically used for a very beneficial mechanism, diverting food. And so again, there's a lot, and I think Recycle Colorado is already pushing that. Colorado in general is already pushing that. And it's exciting. I can't wait to see what 5 years from today is going to be like in Colorado. So, yep.
So, producer responsibility, right? That's a huge step towards reducing the type of materials that we've got coming out. But I think if Recycle Colorado is going to take like an action item, this is, I'm going to talk about sounding cheesy. Looking at schools, right, and education of children. The school districts have very specific criteria. And so when you want to go into a school and give a classroom presentation, it really helps if it is going to meet the district's criteria. So if you have an understanding of what the district is trying to get out, then then the chances of you getting into that classroom are higher. So, doing organics diversion in school, I think is a fantastic way to introduce children to this idea. I think that Emma made a great point, right? It's exposure. Where are you going to get exposed to this? If you're not doing it in your house, you can't hit every household, right? So if you're doing it in schools, or they're seeing it at work, or they're seeing it at big events that they're at, it's planting that seed. So I think that's where you start, is maximum exposure.
Thanks, Jennifer. So I really believe that Coloradans need access. It is the biggest deterrent right now for our inability to raise our very low recycling rates for all containers. And so I'm going to be more bold in saying that the EPR policy is getting us in the right direction finally, but I also believe that we can use other methods to complement that EPR policy, such as a deposit return system for the consumer, and also providing that consumer with access points to be able to drop off their containers. So I really believe that Recycle Colorado can definitely be a starter for connecting communities and collaborating on access points all throughout Colorado. And Glass to Glass is currently working on a couple of programs that are already providing municipalities with access, providing municipalities with containers that are providing the consumer with additional access for recycling.
Awesome.
Oh.
All right, let's have another round of applause for everybody. So that's it. Next steps, you're going to be able to see information online. You'll get a ballot coming out on Monday in your inboxes. Please, I know it's a hard decision, but watch their videos, watch their information that they submitted online, and make a great decision. So we're going to take just a couple minutes. We're going to get back started at 11:05 with our continued programming. And yeah, all good. Thank you again, everybody. Thanks so much.